Here with Concordia head volleyball coach Scott Mattera to preview the 2017 season, which is coming up quickly as we record this. When you get first off together with your players for preseason meetings, how much do you discuss kind of what happened last year, or is it maybe more about looking ahead to this fall?
There's definitely a little bit of both. We really spent the spring processing what happened last year because obviously the returners were part of that, and we've been very upfront with our freshmen. Throughout the 5 years that I've been here about where we are and where we want to be. So it's not like the freshmen are coming in, blind to what the program is all about and the recent results and whatnot. So yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit, but more in the context of this is what we learned from it and how we've evolved the program and how we do things.
Summertime's always busy for you with the camp circuits and all that, traveling around Nebraska and having some come here as well. How much are you seeing that kind of getting out in the community pay off for your program?
Well, we actually cut back this year. We only did 25 days of camp, so we got 5 more to go, but we're pumped about it. No, that's been a huge boon for us in the reputation area, just getting out and meeting people and showing them how we train and some of our ideas and our energy and the values that we bring, both through the site camps, traveling around to all high schools in the area. We've done almost 30 site camps in the last 5 summers, and then we have obviously hundreds and including team tournaments, thousands of kids come to Concordia over the summer, and they see our facilities, and again they get a taste of our values and what we're all about, and you're starting to see that on the recruiting trail as well. We have a lot more connections now in the volleyball community, and it's just we're able to come home a little bit more with our recruiting. Yeah, we're still going to recruit on a national level, and we're going to pull kids from other states, but Nebraska's a good volleyball state, so why not? And we're starting to get a lot of talented kids from good families right here at home.
I know spring and summer is also about kind of integrating some of the new faces, reworking things with returners as well. Can you kind of update us on how that kind of process is?
Well, there's definitely going to be a lot of new faces this year. I mean, we graduated a class of 8, which we're really proud of, the fact that we're graduating big classes, because that tells you the student athletes are enjoying the experience and then sticking around and sticking with it for all 4 years. So we've got 11 newcomers coming in this year, which is a rather large class, and probably the biggest shift is in the staff. So as much as in the players, we have a full-time assistant for the first time with Coach Abby Pollard joining us, and Amanda Abbott, who has been here longer than I have. She was a player before I even got here, and then was our graduate assistant. Has graduated with her master's and took a job in Las Vegas, teaching and coaching at Faith Lutheran. So we have a new graduate assistant, Abby Saylor, joining us as well. So the staff shift is a big deal, and it's been really, really successful and helpful so far. And then obviously bringing in 11 newcomers after what we graduated, 8 total, and 4 4-year starters. There's going to be a lot of new faces out there, and we hope to continue the legacy that those ladies built.
Well, this is the first time you've had a full-time assistant coach to work with. In what ways has Abby Pollard already impacted the program?
I can't even. She's only been here 3 weeks already, and just the overall shift in just having somebody else to talk to and having somebody with a lot of experience, a different voice, another set of eyes. The girls are already connecting with her on a personal and professional level, and things around the office. She's got new ideas and jumps in to help, and it's funny. I don't even ask her to do stuff, and she's coming up with ideas. Hey, can I do this? Can I do this? And yes, that sounds incredible. And it's kind of funny. I've never really had a full-time assistant, so I'm learning how to have a full-time assistant. And she knows more about it than I do, so it's been a great partnership so far, and we're so blessed to have her. And I can't explain to you how excited I am about the future.
Well, it's difficult to have a successful volleyball team if you don't have a setter that you can count on. Of course, you have to replace one there. Emma Brand got opportunities last year as well, but how has she embraced the opportunity to kind of fight for that role this year?
Well, just to give you an example of what type of kid she is, and we call them all kids. They're obviously young ladies at this point. But after the season, we actually elected spring captains for the first time. To really solidify our leadership and then give some people almost permission from the team to step up and lead. And she was one that the team chose after being here for only a semester of her freshman year. So that kind of speaks to the person and player and personality and leader that she is. And that's obviously something we need, replacing a four-year starter like Elena, who was as big a part of this program as anybody's ever been. So that's something we're keeping an eye on. But Emma stepped into that, and we got some other kids that'll fight for that, and we're feeling pretty good about our setting position right now.
Everybody loves to come to the gym and watch players with powerful swings. You lost some of those from last year, but who are maybe some players in that kind of area that people are going to want to come and see?
We've always joked the last few years that we always win warm-ups because we got really athletic girls that really swing hard, and some of the training that we do really enhances that. We graduate three of our biggest swings, and so what are we going to do about that? Well, you got some kids that have been here for a while that have been waiting their turn. Girls like Jenna Habegger. She's was a state all-star coming out of high school, and we moved her to the right side, and she's just been working, and now it's kind of her time to shine. So I think you're going to be impressed by her. Annie Friesen's obviously coming back after missing almost all of last season. Emmy Noyd, freshman that a lot of people saw last year, has really developed in this off-season, and I think you're going to see a big year out of her. Alex LaPlante obviously played a lot, and she's as a freshman, she's a face and a name that people will recognize. She's had a great offseason as well. And then if they're paying attention to Jake's articles, they know about Kelsey Bark, who redshirted for us last year and is ready to step in as well. So, the cupboard is not bare on the arms, no doubt about that.
And Annie Friesen was certainly a big part of that 2015 team that made it to the national tournament. How do you put into words how much she was missed last year? Well,
it's easy to talk about the physical side of what we miss with Annie. I mean, she's a legit 6'1", 6'2" blocker with long arms she's a presence at the net. And obviously, she was top 5 in the country in hitting percentage her sophomore year. So when you take that away, and Emmy did an amazing job as a freshman of filling in as best she could, and really had a nice year as a freshman. But, you talk about what you lost with a potential All-American there as a junior. But what people really, once they think about it, they remember Annie's a huge energy center for us. She's somebody that keeps things light and loose, but still intense. She's a huge competitor, and just somebody that people like playing with and like being around. And that energy is such a hard thing to replace. So getting that back, we're just a little excited about that.
And you mentioned Emma and her leadership and already being elected a captain. What are you noticing as far as what other leaders are stepping up? I know Courtney Juergens is another captain. Yeah, her and
Courtney was actually elected unanimously by the team. So it was Courtney and Emma early in the spring, and they just did a brilliant job of just kind of being aware. That's probably the biggest thing for student leaders is awareness, both of self-awareness and situational awareness. They're really good observers of the culture and the details and little things that are going on, and then they're action takers. Just for example, Courtney came in one day and asked for cleaning supplies because the locker room was a little dingy. Like, who does that? The leaders do that, and so you start seeing those little tokens of appreciation and tokens of responsibility, and the rest of the team steps up and follows that leadership. So we're really excited about the structure that we have coming back. The girls are really bought into some of the cultural training that we've gone through and accepted, and we're really excited about just the idea of being in the gym together, getting better every day, and we're welcoming adversity instead of kind of reacting to it. We're looking to respond to it when it happens.
Probably should mention some of the competition in the back row. I think you've got a lot of possibilities,
Yes.
A lot of different names there.
Yeah, they're definitely going to make life difficult on the coaches in terms of making decisions. You obviously got Jocelyn, who's coming off a little injury, but should be ready to go pretty early in the season, and she's had huge success here as a player, and we're looking forward to her senior year. Courtney obviously had a really breakthrough year last year, breaking onto the court in that right back position and stabilizing that. Jenna Eller, a freshman last year, people remember her for her jump serve, but she was also one of our top serve receive passers. Both Kelsey Bark and Alex LaPlante can play all the way around if we need them to, and so those are options there. And then there's Madison Horn's got a year of varsity under her belt, and Harley Himmelberg was our JV libero last year, and she's a tough kid in the back row. So there's a whole bunch of them, and there's some other JV kids that are pressing for time, and maybe even a newcomer or two. So we've got a lot of choices to make in terms of who's going to be passing the ball.
You enter this season maybe a little bit different feel than last fall when you were coming off going to the national tournament, and maybe outside expectations are going to be a little bit lower. Maybe that's a refreshing thing, though, to kind of start new in that kind of situation.
What I keep telling people is, with everything we graduate, we're just working on using all 3 hits before we send the ball over the net. So, hopefully by October we'll be, past that hit, most of the time when the ball comes over. So, it's fun. It's fun. Obviously we're going to miss those girls so much, but there's something to be said for the joy of part of the joy of college athletics is the constant changing and turnover and always building, and it's a fun process. So we're looking forward to it, and I think this will be a year where we're going into it not really worried about what other people think of us going in, and that includes me too. I like the personality of this group. I like the raw talent there. We're long and athletic and just fun. So I think it's going to be a hard-working group that might raise some eyebrows throughout the season as we develop together.
And you're trying to do that in a conference that really had a banner year last year with 3 teams in the national semifinals and the national champion. Some people might look at that as kind of a really tough challenge to sort of reestablish yourself in that environment. But I'm sure there's a lot of things you look forward to with, the venues that you get to play in and all that goes with the GPAC.
Well, no doubt about it, and it's one of those things that it's definitely a blessing and a curse. It's hard to move up in your conference when everybody is vying for, top 25 in the country. We had 7 teams last year that at some point were ranked nationally, and that's a really good thing because it forces you to get better faster. It's also a really good thing because it really lets us market in the recruiting side of things when we can say, hey, look at our conference, and look at the quality of volleyball. And, we had some girls from pretty far away that didn't know much about NAIA or the GPAC, and I sent them our highlight videos from the last couple of years, and we literally got emails saying, wow, I had no idea it was that good. So when they see that quality of play, it really opens eyes and says, oh, wow, I might want to look there. That's some really good volleyball there. So, yeah, it forces us to get better. One of the other good things about the GPAC is most of the coaches are really, really, they're in it for the student athletes. And when you share those values, so some of our biggest rivals are our biggest friends. And that makes it really fun and enjoyable. And kind of that purity of competition is a really cool thing to be a part of.